The most powerful exorcist in the world is killed by envious members of the imperial court, but he casts spell to be reborn and have another chance at a better life. He wakes up in a different world as Seika, the son of the noble Blaise Lamprogue, but he is unable to use the magic of this new world. Despite this, Seika retains his exorcist abilities and demon followers, but keeps this a secret from his family as he hopes to live a happier life by being more clever than before. His brother Gray bullies him because Seika was born from Blaise's mistress, but his other brother Luft is kinder. Seika's only friend is the family slave, Ifa. After hearing about the Ladonia Magic Academy, Seika uses his power over the 6 elements, water, fire, earth, air, light, and shadow to mimic magical abilities, and Blaise allows him to study magic. Seika discovers that Ifa can also use magic by commanding the spirits of nature, so he secretly trains her. An elder newt attacks a nearby city and makes its way to their mansion. Gray hides like a coward in front of many witnesses, but Seika kills the creature with a poison spell disguised as fire magic. Blaise offers Seika a reward, and he requests to attend Ladonia with Ifa. Gray objects as he was meant to attend Ladonia instead. Blaise decides to have Gray enlist in the army instead. Luft is proud of Seika and gives him a pen as a farewell gift. Gray challenges Seika for the spot at Ladonia but is quickly defeated. Seika arranged for this to happen by cleverly sending a demon servant to provoke the newt to attack. As Seika and Ifa head to the academy, Blaise remembers that Seika is not actually his son, but his nephew, Gilbert's son, who disappeared in demon territory. Blaise has always suspected that Seika's mother was a demoness, meaning that Seika has the potential to become the next demon king. However, he hopes that Ladonia will provide the right environment to prevent this from happening. With Seika as her owner, Ifa expects to share his bed, but he shows no interest. At the entrance exam, Seika meets Onmyouji, a girl from a common family who possesses powerful magical abilities. Seika is surprised as Onmyouji looks exactly like his previous apprentice from his past life who was coerced by the imperial court to kill him. During the practical exam, Seika and Ifa perform exceptionally well, but Onmyouji outshines them by scoring the highest with all 6 elements, including light and dark magic. Her instructors suspect that she might be the next hero. Ifa is disappointed to learn that she will be required to reside in the girls' dormitory and will not be able to serve Seika or enter the boys' dormitory. Meanwhile, Seika notices a dark magic circle on the academy grounds and leaves a few talismans to monitor it. During the opening ceremony, the circle summons 3 minor demons to attack the academy. Seika sneaks away to confront the circle's creator, a devil named Golios. Without any witnesses present, Seika is able to use his exorcist abilities freely and manipulates Golios into admitting that he is attempting to kill the hero. Seika easily defeats Golios and feeds him alive to his demon servant, Mizuchi the dragon. Seika realizes that Mizuchi, due to not possessing all his former strength, tries to attack him, before being sealed away again. Onmyouji kills the lesser demons, but this only results in people fearing and mistrusting her. Seika is pleased by this and hopes that by befriending the hero, he will not attract as many enemies and stand out less. Despite Seika's efforts to befriend Onmyouji, she shows no interest in being friends with him. Seika and Ifa are almost splashed with demon blood by their clumsy teacher Cordell. Onmyouji and Seika trip a magic circle trap that transports them to a nearby dungeon. Trolls knock Onmyouji unconscious, which allows Seika to summon his demon servant, Giant Centipede, to kill them. After awakening, Onmyouji reveals that she has a headache, which Seika identifies as a potentially fatal curse. He transfers the curse onto one of his talismans, which saves Amma's life. Onmyouji has a lewd sense of humor and a passion for fighting, which many people find disturbing, but Seika assures her that all passions have their uses. After defeating the dungeon boss, they loot a mithril sword for Onmyouji and a magic ring. When they return to the academy, Seika secretly confronts Cordell, who is revealed to be a devil's servant, sent to assassinate Onmyouji with a demon blood curse. Seika uses the substitute Onmyouji talisman to reflect the curse back on Cordell, killing him. Seika gives the dungeon ring to Ifa, confirming that it increases her control over spirits. However, Onmyouji remains cold towards Seika and instead becomes friends with Ifa. After a year, Seika, Onmyouji, and Ifa have become close friends, and there have been no more assassination attempts on Onmyouji. The academy's principal asks Seika to participate in a combat tournament in Capital City along with a new student, Mabel Crane, instead of Onmyouji. Amyu is upset, but the principal insists on Seika and Mabel due to a secret motive. Later, Mabel provokes Amyu and humiliates her by defeating her in a sword duel. Mabel also warns Seika that the tournament is real combat, where participants frequently die. When they arrive in Capital City, Seika defeats mercenary swordsman Dennis in his first match using a talisman disguised as wind magic. During a match between Belen, a student from another academy, and Kyle, a bodyguard from the Rugrok Merchants Association, Kyle mercilessly kills Belen. The audience is horrified, but Seika realizes that Kyle used his cursed evil eye to paralyze Belen before killing him. Seika suspects that Kyle may be an assassin for the merchants. Seika becomes interested when the audience calls Mabel the hero after she wins her first match in the combat tournament. He captures a spy working for demons and interrogates him with the help of his psychic demon servant, Satori, only to find out that the demons also believe Mabel to be the hero because of her birth date and red hair. Seika suspects that Mabel is part of a conspiracy to divert the demons' attention away from the real hero, Amyu. In the tournament, Kyle wins his next match with another brutal killing, but a young knight, named Reynas, becomes popular with the audience. Mabel warns Seika that he must win the tournament, or she will have to kill him in the semi-finals. Kyle almost kills Reynas, but is stopped by the judges, who declare him the winner just in time. Seika notices that Kyle uses gravity magic, like Mabel. Later that night, Mabel attacks Seika in his room and tries to kill him, but fails and escapes. Intrigued, Seika decides to chase after her. Seika concludes that Mabel's goal was to injure him enough to make him lose the tournament intentionally. Mabel confirms that she and Kyle are slaves of the merchants, who ordered her to let Kyle kill her. This was to deceive the demons into thinking that the hero had died while demonstrating Kyle's value. She reveals that Kyle was magically programmed during his training to become a perfect soldier, and killing the hero would prove his worth. Seika also realizes that Mabel is Kyle's sister, who dyed her hair to impersonate the hero, and plans to end her brother's suffering by killing him. Seika decides to intervene and defeat Mabel in their match. He then goes on to defeat Kyle, who requests forgiveness from Mabel. Unfortunately, the merchants curse and kill Kyle for his failure. After Kyle's funeral, Seika persuades Mabel to join the academy as a legitimate student. Seika commends the principal for her plan, as he had predicted that he would win and deprive the merchants of Kyle while gaining Mabel as a valuable student. Mabel returns to her original silver hair, but is disturbed by Seika and Ife's brutal teaching methods to make up for her year-long delay in joining her classmates. Seika is asked to investigate the peculiar behavior of the guardian dragon of Astelia Kingdom, which has been protecting the kingdom since a former queen helped raise it. The dim-witted prince of Astelia, Cecilio, is captivated by Ife and invites her to join his kingdom's harem. Seika leaves it to Ife to decide, as becoming a member of a royal harem is a rare opportunity. When they arrive in Astelia, the dragon attacks their carriage but is fended off by Zect, an arrogant mercenary mage hired by Cecilio. Seika scolds Ife for freezing during the attack when she is more than capable of defending herself. After investigating the royal library in Astelia, Seika discovers that the dragon had turned violent once before when he and his mate had a baby. However, this does not explain the current aggression since his mate had passed away many years ago. That night, Cecilio summons Ife to his chamber, but she declines and spends the night in Seika's bed, too frightened to be alone. She feels even worse when Seika reminds her that joining the harem could benefit her future, although she clearly has feelings for Seika. As Ife is technically a slave, Cecilio attempts to buy her, but Seika refuses. Seika decides to personally visit the dragon's nest. Lies. Cecilio's elf attendant informs Ife that she must have elf ancestry to use spirit magic. Seika discovers that the dragon has become violent because it has an egg and has turned female after the death of its mate. Lies takes Ife to the harem, which is actually a university for young women. While one may become a queen someday, most become government officials. The dragon allows Seika to help care for the egg. Ife chooses to stay with Seika, but Cecilio attempts to force her to sign legal documents, presuming that he can simply buy her from Seika later. Seika arrives with the dragon and rescues her. Ife helps Seika apprehend Zect, who attempted to steal the egg to sell it. Cecilio decides to have the dragon killed anyway, hoping that this bold decision will enhance his chances of becoming king. Frustrated with Cecilio's foolishness, Seika reprimands him harshly for his treatment of Ifa. Lies apologizes to Seika and Ifa and agrees with Seika's assessment of Cecilio's behavior. Cecilio is embarrassed and spares the dragon's life. Lies gifts Ifa with several light spirits that provide healing magic. They return to the academy, but elsewhere, a team of 5 powerful demons sets out to finally eliminate the hero. Seika's father wants to meet Onmyouji, and Seika suspects that politics are involved. Gray expresses his love for being in the army and challenges Seika to a rematch, but Onmyouji fights him instead and loses due to a trick. Gray introduces Fiona, the holy princess of the kingdom, who is the daughter of the emperor and the oracle priestess, causing Seika to worry about politics. Seika notices that Fiona looks like his wife from a past life. Surprisingly, Seika's stepmother, who never paid attention to him, asks him to keep in touch. During a conversation with Onmyouji about their future plans, Seika reveals that he wants to go on an adventure with her. Fiona visits a nearby town and spends the day with Seika, holding his hand. She almost gets injured by falling timber, but is rescued by Gray and Onmyouji and seems disappointed that Seika did not do anything to help. Gray tells Seika that Fiona is a clever politician who inherited her mother's magic and can see glimpses of the future. Despite being the child of a mistress, she is determined to become a royal heir and may even become empress someday. She is also planning something that involves both Onmyouji and Seika. Seika initially avoids Fiona due to her ability to see the future and the potential complications it may cause. However, he eventually plays chess with her and loses, despite Fiona intentionally using fewer pieces. As a prize, she asks for a future favor from Seika. Seika learns from Fiona's strategic style of play that she doesn't support the current political system and is actively working to gain the support of the public. Seika decides to support her as well. Meanwhile, a group of demons defeat a band of bandits and reveal their identities as Zor the Devil God, Mutarev the Strongest Ogre, Loni the Monster Tamer, Persleria the Evil Eye, and Gulganis the Devil. Upon returning to the academy, assassins disguised as bandits attack the carriages carrying Fiona. With Seika's help, the assassins are captured alive. Fiona had foreseen the attack and plans to use the assassins' confessions to her political advantage. However, the assassins' reinforcements are also eaten by the demons, leaving them stranded. Fiona cryptically tells Seika that she is always on his side, no matter what, and Zor regrets having to hide from his team that their goal of killing the hero is likely a suicide mission. The principal appoints Seika as the student representative to welcome the incoming first-year students. Despite his initial reluctance to draw attention to himself, Seika overcomes his fear after facing the impending threat of the demons. The demons arrive at the academy with the intention of killing the hero, but find themselves surrounded by a confusing red mist. Zor decides to abort the mission, but Seika appears before him. Zor, who has the ability to detect a person's power, is terrified of Seika, who beheads Mutarev. Persleria's evil eye is defeated by a demon servant named White Snake, whose own evil eye causes her death. Loni tries to tame White Snake, but gets devoured by her. Zor discloses to Seika that he bears the title Most Terrible Demon King, hoping that Gulganis will escape and inform other demons that the prophesized Demon King is on humanity's side. Seika destroys Zor with his fire, magic and uses a substitution talisman to kill Gulganis, who teleports away but dies from the attack. Mabel, who witnessed everything, promises Seika to keep it a secret. During the ceremony to welcome new students, the Dirac Knights of Marquis Grevel accuse Onmyouji of murdering a demon emissary who was visiting the academy under diplomatic immunity at the time of his death. Seika advises Onmyouji to submit to imprisonment temporarily. Principal confirms politicians likely want the hero gone. Seika invades the imperial prison, slaughters the soldiers and finds Onmyouji. Onmyouji naively believes her innocence would be proven, so Seika reveals to her she is the hero, so her innocence is irrelevant as her enemies will kill her regardless. Gray and Fiona appear and admit to plotting Onmyouji's death. Humans and demons are currently in a stalemate, so the existence of a hero could restart the war, so it is better for Onmyouji to die. However, due to Seika protecting her, Onmyouji has not yet had to unlock her hero abilities, so Fiona offers to return them to the academy. Seika realizes this was what Fiona had cleverly planned all along and never intended Onmyouji to be killed, so he decides they will leave the academy and go far away instead. MU regrets not returning to the academy but looks forward to starting their careers as adventurers. Fiona talks with an entity hiding in her shadow, revealing she knows Seika is the Demon King and will give his life to protect the hero. She also arranges for Yeef and Mabel to join Seika and MU and begin adventuring as a team.